Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Fox 19 Now First Alert Meteorologist Brad Maushart, but my friends call me Bad News Brad. It is a Friday, and there's nothing bad about that. And there's not really much bad news in the forecast either, really. Even though we'll see some rainfall next week, some storms outside, I think we'll be looking forward to it at that point because we'll be at the end of a 5-day stretch of 90-degree plus heat. Yes, we are up to 5 days. We're going to hit 90 today. We're going to hit 90 through the weekend. 90's likely Monday and Tuesday as well. Tuesday is the one day that could be tricky when it comes to 90 because we'll see the storm chances ramping back up. But overall, a pretty hot little stretch here. Another hot stretch as we roll through mid-August. We are halfway there, just about the 15th of August. And here is your weather number of the day. It is 17. If you were watching earlier, you have already seen this and you're probably bored. But 17 is the weather number of the day today. That is the number of 90-degree plus days we've had so far this year. And you're saying there's no way it has to be way higher than that. No. That is where we've been. Now, that does not factor in heat index or what it's felt like, because we have had numerous days where it's felt like 90 degrees plus, but actual air temperature over at the International Airport, 17. Now, we have 5 more days in the forecast, today through Tuesday, so that should get us to the 30-year average of 22 days by the time we hit Tuesday next week. Again, Tuesday's kind of a wild card with rain chances. If a storm heads over to the airport, before we get there, they could squash that chance. But a lot of summer left to go. A lot of September and even October we've hit the 90s before. So, we'll see what happens. Last year we had almost 40 days, 37 days of 90-degree plus heat. So we're a little shy of that. I don't know exactly where we were at this point last year. I didn't look at that, but 37 total. We need 20 more 90-degree plus days, and a lot of you are saying we don't need to get anywhere close to that. We don't need to get anywhere close. I think we'll at least get back to normal, maybe a little bit above normal this year. No problem getting there. On top of the 90-degree plus heat, your little first alert here for Friday, little Friday first alert action. Heat indices are likely to top out at 100 degrees, each of those 90-degree plus days. So we got 5 of them in a row. It's not going to be an all-day thing. This will be at the worst of the day. It'll be about 100 degrees or feel like 100 plus. But if you have any plans out through the afternoon hours or evening hours the next couple of days, just make sure to take plenty of breaks. Nothing too strenuous out there. You don't want to give yourself a heat-related illness. You don't need that as we work our way towards this weekend. 83 already. We're going to hop around. That's at the International Airport looking back towards the southeast. And things look pretty good there. Mostly sunny skies. Just a few fair weather clouds outside. We head back towards the other view here, and this will take us over. Looking the opposite direction, we got the old cloud factory there on the river pumping out some clouds over in southwestern Ohio. That's that little thin, narrow cloud. You can see that's a smokestack or a steam stack rising back there in the distance. A few fair weather clouds and a boat racing by. Look at that guy. That's a fast boat. Hold on, the camera's frozen. There we go. Got some fast boats out there. Those aren't barges. Those are, whoa! What is going on here in the stream? We got some fast boats happening down there. I think there's a boat show in Covington this weekend, and that's one of the many things going on. Maybe these folks are headed to the boat show. I don't know what's going on. This is live look back right now at the river, and we got some people just flying around down there. Some fast boats. Definitely not a pontoon boat. Those are some fast boats. There is a barge, I think, behind that the bridge. Trying to squint and see it. Here, I'll pull this up full screen so you can see what I'm talking about, then we'll get to the weather. Some fast boat action happening. There's some kind of another boat. I don't know if it's a barge down there they're trying to dodge. I don't know what's going on, but there I think is the barge behind the bridge coming under the Roebling right now. So the camera's frozen up a little bit again. Does not like the pointer. But yeah, a lot of boats going by. I don't know if they're having a little race. They're just enjoying the day. I don't know. Probably enjoying the day. Trying to get a breeze to cool down. 87. At Lunkin already. Warming up in a hurry out there this afternoon. So if you're going to be out and about, stay cool. That's the biggest thing today. Heat index up to 97 already in Lebanon. It's just now noon. 93 in Falmouth, 92 in Harrison. Just the slimmest of chances today for rain to help cool us back off. I'm going to check a look at the Facebook comments to make sure that people aren't complaining that I'm talking about boats yet. There's a guy on, I watch on Instagram, but I'm sure he's on all the social media sites, called Boat Raider. Have you heard of this guy? Lives over in Covington, West Covington somewhere. And rates the boats going by. So maybe he can rate those boats that were just on the stream. 97, that feels like temperature in Lebanon already. 98, it's worse in Evansville. That's our latest warm wave there to the southwest. That's going to be sweeping in the coming days here, and making it feel pretty miserable outside for this weekend. Outside of the heat, no major issues. You can see a few stray downpours starting to develop down there south of the I-64 corridor near Frankfort, just southwest of Lexington. Most of the rain should stay south of that line today, generally, more or less, but we do have that chance, just the slimmest of chances, to see a stray shower or storm today. High pressure moving off to the northeast now. We were on the good side of high pressure yesterday, but it is sliding east, and now we are on the bad side of high pressure. Both sides are okay, but there's certainly a better and a worse side, and we are on the worst of the two because when you're on the backside of this area of high pressure this time of the year, it's close enough to keep you mostly dry and keep you mostly sunny, but you start to see that southerly breeze kick back in, and it really funnels moisture in, and that's what we're going to see outside through this weekend. Let's pivot all the way down to the Atlantic here. We have the Antilles, we have San Juan, Puerto Rico, and this is now a hurricane. Aaron, as of the 11 o'clock update, so that was about an hour ago, Aaron has been upgraded to our first hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season here for 2025. Wind sustained at 75 miles per hour, continues to intensify out there. You can see some nice outflow from that storm, an intensifying storm. Gust over 90 miles per hour, and it's moving at a pretty good pace. You can see some warnings up there. I can't read because the screen is really small. But it looks like Anguilla, seeing already some hurricane warnings there, or at least tropical storm warnings in that area. Let me see if I can query this off the air and tell you exactly what that is. I'm looking at the little red boxes there around some of the northern islands there. It's a tropical storm watch for that area. It does not include Puerto Rico, but it is moving up to the west-northwest, and it's likely to turn here soon. And here's the good news. This storm is going to rapidly intensify here over the next 48 hours or so. It's at Cat 1 strength now, low-end hurricane, but by the time we hit Saturday, tomorrow, yes, tomorrow's Saturday, at just 8 o'clock, we're already at Cat 3, a major hurricane strength. By the time we hit tomorrow evening, 120-mile-an-hour winds, 130 mile per hour winds, or does that say 50? Again, this screen is too small for me. There we go. 130 mile an hour winds. I'm just making it bigger on my end. You saw nothing of which has changed. But Cat 4 strength by Sunday, running all the way through Monday and early Tuesday. That is the second highest category for a hurricane into early next week. Now, like I said, there is some good news here. What we call this, the red shaded area, that's the cone of uncertainty. What it means is that if you follow the lines that kind of come across, that's at Friday at 8 o'clock. This is Saturday at 8 o'clock. It's generally expected to be that far into the cone, but the center of the storm can be here. The center of the storm could be here, or if the forecast is really good, and 9 times out of 10, it usually is pretty good. The National Hurricane Center does a great job. Right here down the middle, the center of the storm could be here. It does not mean that the impacts are limited to just that red shaded area. That doesn't mean the storm's going to get that wide. That is just where the center of the storm can be, right? So let's say it's over here by the time we hit the end of this forecast by the middle of next week, right? That would mean much more significant impacts, much higher impacts to the U.S. East Coast. It does not look either way like we're going to see a landfall, but the center of the storm's here, and it does get pretty wide. You can have that storm hanging off 100 miles or so on either side, right? A couple hundred miles. And then you have other impacts out to like 300 miles. I mean, you could definitely get some impacts here to the U.S. East Coast, and I do think they're expecting at a minimum in some of those areas. Some really high surf. We're talking offshore, maybe some waves over 40, 50 feet, maybe even higher than that. Definitely not something you want to take the boat out for there. You don't want those speedboats running into this storm. But good news is it does look to split kind of the difference there between Bermuda and the Outer Banks. Not saying they won't see impacts. They will. But better than a landfall anyway. And it does look to weaken as it moves its way a little higher latitude there. Just as it gets closer to Bermuda, it will weaken slightly. Not much. I mean, it's still 125 mile an hour winds, but it'll weaken slightly. So that is a look at the tropics, our first hurricane of the year, Hurricane Aaron Ashley. It's just Hurricane Aaron, but we'll call it unofficially here at the First Alert Team Hurricane Aaron Ashley, I think she'll like that. 90 degrees outside in Hamilton, 92 in Middletown. That'll be our high temperature today. It will feel hotter than that. Low triple digits at a lot of spots. So, again, steamy day, and here's the rain chance. Now, what models don't do is pick out exactly where the storms are going to develop, right? If that was a thing, I would not have a job. But what it does do a good job of is show you general coverage. How many storms are we kind of expecting what certain time frame, right? And here's what we're expecting through the day today. Again, very minimal chances. About 98% of us will have zero rain today. It's going to be a hot day, a humid day, and you can see that storm that this particular model at this time frame picks out over Owen County. General chances are better south of town, but either way, again, very minimal chances today. Most of us stay dry, and that'll be the case into early Friday, or early Saturday, rather, morning. Biggest thing going to be the heat, and biggest thing is going to be Reds sweep. We need it, baby. How about those Reds? They're hot right now, and we could use, a sweep would go a long way. Somebody had posted some stats on, how many wins out of the last. We have 40 games left this season, and how many of those we need to get the wild card spot, or at least a good chance of it. And if we get 23 wins out of the next 40, so a little over half of the games left, we win 23 of them. There's over a 60% chance that we get that wild card spot, and that's a pretty safe bet. It's not a guarantee by any means, but at least a Red Series win here with Milwaukee would go a long way. They're on a hot streak themselves. Speaking of hot, I think they got like 12 games in a row. Back to weather. Hot and humid today, stray storm chance. Again, you'd have to get really unlucky at the ballpark today. The biggest thing is just going to be the heat out there, especially in the direct sunshine, because this is first pitch at 6:40. That sun angle, it's not going to be behind the stadium yet. So if you're sitting in the outfield, stay hydrated out there. And I'm not talking the adult beverages. Drink some water if you're going to be out there, because it will be warm. And same for the weekend. We have the 37th Regional Black Family Reunion happening outside this weekend, too. A lot of stuff going on down at Sawyer Point. A lot of it's outdoors. If you're going to be heading down to that, find some shade. At least it is at Sawyer Point, so there is some shade down there, so that'll be nice. 91 outside Saturday, 92 on Sunday. Heat indices, both of these days, triple-digit heat indices. Stay cool. And don't forget to hydrate. That's the biggest thing. You do not want to get dehydrated in this kind of weather, and it's easy to do because you're going to be sweating a lot. Here's a look ahead through the weekend. Again, very minimal chance for a rain shower on Saturday. The bulk of those chances are going to be up to the northwest. Sunday, those chances get a little better. There will be a few spotty storms around, but not enough, to cancel or, move plans around or anything like that. Just be cautious outside for Sunday. You're heading out of the pool. Monday, things start to ramp up. We're up to 92 on Monday. Again, another slim chance for some storms. And Tuesday, things really start to pick up. A cold front's going to be pressing in, and you can see it there in kind of the yellow shaded areas. That's some of the more intense rain and storm activity. That's going to be drooping down late Tuesday night towards that 70 corridor, and that cold front should pass us by through the day Wednesday. And depending on timing, right now I'm not anticipating any strong storms, but if that cold front kind of slows down just a little bit, and keeps it right over the heart of the tri-state by 5, 6 o'clock peak daytime heating on Wednesday, we could see some problems. But again, some chance for storms either way, that it could be on the strong side Wednesday. Either way, this is going to bring us some relief by the end of the week. It pushes down. This is actually the same cold front that's going to help to sweep Hurricane Aaron off the East Coast, right? All these different weather phenomena, they generally intertwine, and this cold front will help to push it offshore as it presses on off to the east. Now, if I take this out, let's just see. This cold front's going to be poorly drawn, so I'm just going to delete that real quick. I don't want to give away all the TV magic. Let's see. Is this not... What are we doing here? Why do I not have an eraser? Oh, well. Let's see. There's a cold front that's on there. Here is where the storm is expected to be, off towards the east, right? So that is going to help to push that storm away. I don't think the camera is going to stay where I want it to. Let me hop back here. It's because it's in the scene itself, that's why. All right, let's see if I can move this back a little bit. Oh, it's not going to let me do it. It's all right. Let's hop in here. I'm just going to do it this way. Going off script. Hey, Daryl, hopefully you have a good Friday. Let's see. Just delete that, delete that, delete that. Deleting this, turning this off. All right. And I'm just going to zoom the camera out. Just give me a second here. We're going on the fly. So here's where the storm, at least, in St. George, that's Bermuda out there. That was just popping up on the screen. You're keeping tabs there on these towns. There's St. George again. There's Cincinnati up in the corner. Here's what we're expecting in terms of where this storm is going to go. This is where the European model has it. Again, it's kind of a perfect placement. It's about equidistant between Bermuda and the East Coast. I think you'll still see some outer rain bands over, some gusty winds, slim tornado chance maybe in the Outer Banks, which is where it kind of juts out there east of Raleigh, some of those barrier islands. You'll see some really high surf, some coastal erosion issues, but definitely beats a landfall. And then that storm continues to press on out because that cold front will be pushing through our area Wednesday into Thursday, and that'll help to suppress, that westward movement. It keeps it a little bit further east. So you're welcome, Carolinas, for our cold front. I'm just going to take the credit for it. And it pushes it out and keeps it moving then into a fish storm scenario where it kind of pushes its way off the east. Newfoundland, you have to keep an eye on that up there near St. John's. That could be a problem by the time we hit, the end of next week. That's a long ways away. A lot can change with that. We could see, if that cold front comes in a little sooner, maybe we could see some impacts up towards, Washington up to Boston. We'll see, but that's a long ways out. And all pure speculation. Do I want to save that? I do not, because I want to go back to where it was before. Total rainfall-wise, not a ton from that cold front. The big thing is going to be the relief. We could see in a few isolated areas that see the downpours this weekend, an inch pick up an inch really quickly in some of those isolated downpours. The overall rain threat, fairly minimal. It's not going to be a widespread thing in terms of heavy rainfall, but some areas could pick up over an inch. That's the deal through this weekend into the weekend. Through the weekend into next week. And here's the real thing, the real kicker here. It's going to help to cool us off, and I think everybody's looking forward to that. Not only some slightly cooler temperatures or near or below average temperatures, right, but it's also going to be lower humidity. So that heat index, which is going to be flirting with the triple digits all weekend, early next week, it drops off too. This has not gotten out far enough, but we'll have a better look at this through the weekend into next week. But you can see that humidity will start to drop Wednesday into Thursday, and that's a trend that will continue towards the tail end of next week, and I think we get back into the comfy range with this. And here's even better news. So it started off a little rough. We're getting there now. We'll start to see some changes, hopefully, maybe some fall-like changes, just in time for the end of August out there. We have some changes on the way. And this is some promising news here because we have, for almost the entire summer, I think, so far, we have not seen ourselves here in this blue shaded area. Even if it's the first category of blue, we'll take it because that means below normal temperatures. That's what the Climate Prediction Center is expecting in terms of temperatures. Normal right now is 86. By the end of the month, I think it drops to 85 or 84, maybe even lower than that, high temperature wise. So below that is low 80s, upper 70s. We'll take it. It's not near normal. It is below normal. While the rest of the country sweats it out, we'll take a little taste of fall there towards the tail end of August. It's not to say you can't have a couple days in there that are above normal or near normal, but a general trend for the entire 8 to 14-day outlook looks to be mostly below normal. We'll take it. And the right 7-day popped up. It's going to be a great Friday. 91 outside today, 90 today, 91 tomorrow, 92 Sunday, 92 Monday, 91 Tuesday. A stretch of 90s, 5 days of it. 5 days, maybe again Tuesday being a wild card, of 100-degree plus heat. Let me push this up here for you so you can see this in full screen mode if your eyes are as bad as mine sometimes. 91 Tuesday, 85 by Wednesday. Here comes that cold front. That's our best chance for storms, best rain chances coming Wednesday, and we will hang on to at least a few showers, at least given current timing, into early Thursday morning. But by Thursday afternoon, the later we get in the day Thursday, the better it's going to get. Lower humidity, cooler, drier air rushes in. Thursday and Friday both look great. Really great end of next week. If you can try to get by without doing any yard work until the end of next week, you can thank me later. If you have to get it done, earlier the better. Tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday. Try to do it before midday because things are going to heat up in a hurry rather there through the weekend, early next week. Don't forget, you can always follow along. You would get a few sneak peeks. You would have seen that hurricane track and a look at some of our new graphics we're going to be debuting. I put that out on social media earlier because I've been working on that for the last 2 months. If I stare at a computer screen any longer, I'm going to need to change my prescription. I think you'll like the new graphics. It should be a little bit of a cleaner look and I think you'll enjoy it. Either way, those are debuting, allegedly, again, Monday of this coming week. They were supposed to launch a couple weeks ago, and they've gotten pushed back due to unforeseen technical difficulties. So we are going to be pushing those back out Monday. And don't forget, by the way, going back to the 7-day forecast, you can follow me on all those social media pages. That'd be great for you and I both. Great thing here happening, Thursday, I should note, not only is it going to be one of the best days of the week anyway. Let me see if this wants to load. But I'm going to highlight Thursday there. Ignore that. This was obviously St. Paddy's Day. Let's hop back to this. Let's go back. Thursday, I should highlight there because that is Steve Horsemeyer's final day at the Fox 19. He's been in the market for 48 years, and that is his final day. It's Thursday of next week. It has appeared on the 7-day. I need to find a cutout of Steve's face I can plop on the 7-day there before he gets in. Hopefully he's not watching, so it's a surprise. Either way, his final day is just a few days away. He is not here today because he has Fridays off. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, his last days, and he is not working Tuesday either. So you just have 3 whole days left of Steve. So soak them in. I'm sure we have some special things planned next week. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, make sure to tune in for that. And like I said, final day there for Steve is Thursday. It is approaching quickly, and he is definitely counting down. So if you want to tune in for that, that'd be great. He picked a great final day there for Thursday of next week. As he walks out of the building nice and comfy outside. Be a real bummer if your last day was like wall-to-wall severe weather coverage and you didn't get out of here until 4 in the morning. Thursday looks great, and make sure to tune in for that. Really not a bad weekend if you can get past the heat. Just stay hydrated out there. A lot of things happening out there, as is typical for this time of the year. And, best storm chances roll in late Tuesday, continue through Wednesday, and into early Thursday. We'll put this up here full screen for you one more time. Again, get out there, enjoy your weekend, everybody. This live stream produced by me standing in front of a camera and pushing buttons and logging into things. Hopefully have a great weekend. Hopefully you can stay cool and enjoy some of that sunshine out there. Great pool weekend on the way with storms next week. Enjoy it, everybody.